So I created a video that's almost 2 hours long. That video, and I would be shocked if anybody ever watches it all the way through. But in that video, I attempted to, or I actually created an NPM project. Um, so that video, it could have been like a 20-hour video if we'd have gone down all the different rabbit holes that are possible. Um, in this video, I'm going to focus on the part where I created an NPM project. This is going to be more of an infrastructure sort of setting up video as opposed to coding. Maybe tomorrow, or my next video will probably be like the how to improve the project that we're working on. Anyways, so without further ado, here's the part of the video that I am dealing with right now, or that I want to deal with, that the Angular CLI. Before I can do that, though, I need to initialize an NPM project, and the way you do that is init. And I always add y so that it just names all the stuff because it's never mattered what the name of things are. So I just created that. Now if I hit dir, you see that I have something in there. I have a package.json. So I will do this code dot. So what this is going to do is it's going to bring up a Visual Studio Code. Hopefully you know how to. So yeah, so that was me creating an NPM package. Now NPM is, and understanding NPM can really make your life a lot easier as a software developer. Most places that I have been around use NPM and Node to manage their libraries, front end libraries, and if that, and even back end out libraries. And most places I work, sometimes none, or usually maybe one or two people understand NPM. And understanding NPM can make life a lot easier. Um, so that's that. So I'm going to kind of go over NPM, but before we get started, I'm going to create a new command window, and I am going to kind of give you the prereqs. So basically you want to make sure that you can do it. So if you are ready to roll if you type in npm dash dash v and you get a response back. Right? So I have npm version 951, and then if I typed in node dash v, that it gives you version 20.1. I believe as of maybe the last 5 years, 10 years, something like that, when you install Node, you automatically get NPM. So basically, if you want to install Node in your, there's just no telling what that's going to be like in your time period. Um, you're going to want to kind of just do a search in Google or ChatGPT or whatever in the future, and just basically say, like, how do I install NPM? And in all likelihood, it's going to be something about installing Node.js. And you just go to some website, and for whatever operating system you're using and whatever, you'll be able to install that. And then once you've installed it, sometimes you may have to start um, a new command prompt, or you possibly will have to restart the whole computer. But once you've done that, you should be able to type in something along the lines of node, npm. And it is funny that, like, for no npm, you put dash dash v, and then for node, you put dash v, and you get an error if you don't do it the other way. That inconsistencies are kind of weird for me. But anyways, let's just move on. So I'm going to make a directory called npm-exe, ex example, exa, ex, cd, npm, ex. That is weird. Yeah. Okay. So now I have my new npm ex directory. Now at this point, you have an empty directory, right? If you do a dir, if you explore it, you'll see an empty directory. Now, typically when you first get started, you probably just want to do like an npm init. And what'll happen is you'll get some questions. And these questions will be like, hey, what's the package name? And I'm going to say example. Now, this package name is pretty important if you ever decide you want to publish your NPM project, because if you do, then you don't want to use another name that anybody else has used, and so you want to be careful. Version, if it's 1.00, believe that's the default, and that just means that this is ready to roll. If you are not ready to roll, then you want to do something like 0.0.1. That's sort of your way to communicate to the world, hey, this is likely to change. You are very, very likely to, if you start using this, to be like have to do backwards changes so that it'll work. Now, if you do 1.0 and then let's say a month from now you do a 2.0, that's your way of telling the world, hey, you can use this new 2.0 version. It does a lot of good stuff, but it's not going to work with your 1.0 code. The code has changed in such a way that if you use 1.0, you're going to have to make changes to the code for 2.00. So anyways, we're just going to go with the default 1.0. It's the description. This is an example. And then entry point index.js. I really don't know what that does. I think that's more of a back-end thing. And I think that's kind of, I don't know. That's literally, I think that's more of a back-end thing. Or maybe like if you were making an actual application, since I generally work in front end, this isn't relevant to me. And I always just leave it as the example. This is a test command, and it will make a default test command. And this is typically, it'll make an exam that you would typically have set up for unit tests, but you might have it for end-to-end tests or something else. That's going to vary. The Git repository would be your Git repository. I've never used that one before. I've never seen it used before. And then keywords would be for NPM. So now this keywords is probably going to be it's probably going to be important if you go to publish this thing. I've never published an NPM package before, and then this should be your name. And then license ISC, I believe that just means like everybody can use it for whatever they want, whenever they want. And then this shows you what is going to be in your package. And then that's it. So now if I do a dir, I do a package, and I have a package.json. So if I say code dot, you'll see the package JSON is in there, and if you open it, it basically looks identical to that. So now, this is weird because this could be very weird for you if you're not familiar with NPM at all. So let's just go into Google and type in NPM. And you'll notice that it's going to want to send us this npm.js. I mean, that's usually the first result because these are the people that actually are NPM. So build amazing things, take your JavaScript, and then it has this thing where you can search packages. So let's say hello, search. If we do a search on hello, I've never done that before. So hello, write list, ship more, hello. I don't know. It's exact. This is a Cordova, which I believe is like a phone. So you can convert your JavaScript and HTML to a phone. Hello retail module. Hello world. Small hello world plugin. Hello world pang. GFS says hello. Hello text. So let's go ahead and click in this one. So when you click in here, so this is called hello text. This tells you how you could install it. So we could install this thing. This gives us information like 103 people downloaded it this week. There's a total of 28 files. It lives, usually this tells us that it lives over in GitHub. And so we could actually go look at the code there. Open a new tab. And then import hello text. It tells you how to use it. So this is weird. This is like kind of like if there's a Webpack plugin, this wouldn't necessarily be how you would use this. Hello track usage. So let's see. Let's give us track the events happening on your site to hello text in real time with this library. So that's what that does. You could play around with it, but I'm not actually going to implement this thing. Const response. So like I said, I don't really know anything about this package, but it's good for example. So they have this very convenient thing here, so you can do an npm install. And so now I'm going to go back to this guy, and actually I want to go to my code. Okay, so in our code, since we're using an example, I'm going to install this hello text. Now you notice all we have is package.json right now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this, and I'm going to open my terminal, and then I'm going to paste what we copied a little earlier. I went over here and I said copy, and I'm going to paste that in there. Now this should be quick because it's a teeny tiny little package. So now we have node modules, and basically we ended up with @hello text, which is the actual thing, and then what wg fetch is one of their dependencies, and core.js is one of the dependencies. Our package.json got updated with this hello text. Now, if we look in here, we can actually see that they have a dist, and like if you use jQuery or existing library, this is probably what you would want to do. You'd want to import this directly into your code, which like a lot of times people will create like in their actual proper package, they'll create like a third party directory or something, and then you copy paste this file into there, and then you import it like kind of the old fashioned way. Another possibility would be to use like a Webpack or something to import it directly. In Angular, you'd have to import it like as a third-party component, which is all those other ways are sort of beyond the scope of this video. But anyways, so now we have our package and all that. Now, one last thing I wanted to mention is we can go over here to this, click on that link, and now we actually see the code. So this should look familiar, dist, and then hello text.js, and that's what we were just looking at over there. We can also see like the pre-compiled, pre-minified, whatever you want to call it, in here. So hello text, this is it. That someone probably hand wrote this code in there. You can kind of see the history in GitHub of that. We have an index.js, which I believe that's probably the thing that describes how to compile this or something like that. I don't know. It's not really, it's way outside of my normal skill set. But anyways, I feel like that's all you need to know if you wanted to be like a developer and you wanted to feel comfortable. Oh, there is one other thing that you really should be familiar with. And probably like whenever I get a new job, the very, very first thing I do is I look in the package.json and I look to see what scripts there are. Typically you'll find like something maybe like a build script, build, and I'm just going to just say echo, I am the builder. And then if you run that thing, see echo, I am the builder. It just runs whatever's in there, and you will normally, you can get a good feel for what the sort of bones of the project that you're working on are by looking at the scripts area and looking at this dependencies area. You'd be amazed at how many developers never ever even look at these things when they start on a new project. But anyways, yeah, the only thing this rings in is hello text. You'd look at hello text, and then we got our package lock. So our package lock, this is a good time to go over this, is like basically what the way it by default did was it put this little arrow. So I believe what this little arrow means, there's like different notations in here, and I believe this little arrow means that I can have, if 1.34 were to come in and I just had this package file, that I would install 1.34. Like anything that's 1.3x, it will install above 1.33. And the real is the standard is that like 1.34 code can work with code that you wrote for 1.33. If you had a 1.4, that would mean that the code will probably work, but there could be some minor changes that you need to make. And if it was 2.33, that means your code will work. I mean, will not work. It's going to break. It's got breaking changes. If you've done anything hardly at all, it's going to break. But now if you go, the thing is within hello text, if you were to go look at that guy, so let's go to hello text, and if you were to look at the package of this one, he's got a bunch of things, and they all have all these little carrots as well. So it is possible things get real out of control real fast. Sometimes some of these have hundreds of dev dependencies, and if I do an install directly from this package.json without this package lock, there's no telling which packages I'm going to download for here, because there's like from 11 to 21, there's 10 different, either 9 or 10 different packages variances here. So I could get one, like if we don't have this package lock, I could end up with 0.2, but you could end up with 0.3. I could end up with 0.5 here, and you could end up with 0.8. And who knows if ours lined up. But if I have this package.lock, that means that we are both going to use the same dev packages. The same, we are going to use the exact same dependencies regardless, no matter what. And that's good. That's really good. That was a very huge improvement when they added that. Anyways, I think that's all you need to know. Just to circle back, you want to be able to type in npm -v to see the version of your npm. You want to be able to say node-v, and basically as of 10/4/2023, this is what you need to do in order to have like a working knowledge of npm in order to be a full-scale enterprise developer. I don't think you need to know anything beyond what I went over. There are millions of things you could become. There are so many rabbit holes and so much stuff to learn. npm is huge. I believe that's all you need to know, though, to do the job. Anyways, I hope that helps somebody. I know it's going to help me in the future when I go back to read this. And have a wonderful day. And be good. Try to have fun coding and make some money. Bye.